Hi, I'm Derek Gilbert. Welcome to a special 5 in 10 inside look at the forthcoming docuseries from Defender Investigative Films, Rescue Us. We have programs about this docuseries coming up on the main Skywatch TV broadcast program beginning November 17th and running through December 8th. But over the next couple of weeks, we're going to give you, the 5 in 10 audience, exclusive looks, never-before-seen clips from this forthcoming docuseries that really gets to the heart of what we do at Skywatch TV. This series, Rescue Us, exposes the multifaceted industry that is systematically destroying the innocence of our children. From children lost in the foster care system with no chain of custody to the rampant efforts we've seen in recent years to normalize darkness in the classroom. This series gets to the heart of what we do at Skywatch TV, and it's already being called by child advocacy experts a must-watch. So now, a 5 in 10 exclusive preview of Rescue Us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Thomas Horn.
We kind of put our neck out there on the chopping block.
We're going to be meeting with the Jesuit. So what I want to talk to you about is the coming technological singularity. I want to talk to you about transhumanism. This generation is being sold into something, ladies and gentlemen, and it is not going to end well.
Tom Horn is one of the more interesting theological interpreters of transhumanism in the country, although I'm pretty sure he's crazy.
Best-selling author Dr. Thomas Horn shocks the entire world in an unprecedented prediction that identifies precisely, down to the month, Pope Benedict's official resignation 1 year before it happened, leaving people amazed at who his insiders at the Vatican might be, as a pope has not officially resigned in over 600 years.
Pope Benedict had actually stepped down in April 2012, did it secretly, privately. Most of the cardinals didn't even know about it.
There is an evil, unclean, demonic spirit that would like to take America down the tubes, destroy the idea of this great capitalistic country that took the gospel to the four corners of the world.
Tom Horn is back in the news again at Wired magazine, addressing the coming human enhancement revolution.
CEO of Skywatch TV stirs massive controversy with dire warning for America.
Groundbreaking author and paradigm-shifting theologian.
Every knee is going to bow and every tongue is going to confess that Jesus Christ is Lord.
Biblical prophecy, the supernatural, occultism. This guy is exposing things left and right.
If we are going to stop the path that we're on, we better do it now. We may be the last generation and the last hope.
And even giant six-fingered and six-toed footprints in pursuit of much smaller five-fingered and five-toed humans.
Are we opening a door that was opened once before that God slammed shut? And is it the fulfillment of prophecy, Matthew 24:37?
Dr. Thomas Horn breaks the internet again with startling new documentary film, Silent Cry, The Darker Side of Trafficking.
Founders of Whispering Ponies Ranch, Thomas and Nita Horn, break ground expanding on what has been described by experts in child advocacy as an oasis where children who have suffered catastrophic abuse can find rest, rehabilitation, and hope through their faith in Jesus Christ.
We are ministering to children whose nightmares are real.
For them, it is a miracle. They've never seen anything like the changes in these children's life that occur at Whispering Ponies Ranch.
Whispering Ponies Ranch, where lost and hurting children come to the theater of the outdoors and experience God's love, hope, rehabilitation, and an introduction to His Son, Jesus Christ. The founders of Whispering Ponies Ranch join us right now. He's a multi-time critically acclaimed best-selling author and CEO of Skywatch Television, co-founder of Whispering Ponies Ranch, Dr. Thomas Horn. Her ministerial career has spanned for more than 45 years. She's the visionary and founder of Whispering Ponies Ranch, Nita Horn.
When they think of just a random week in the summer, they try to think of fun vacations. For a foster kid,
for sure.
this is the first time that they have been told that they're beautiful or that they're handsome or that they are loved, and it's actually shown. And my first week at camp, that Friday came, and I was sad to go home because I didn't know if I was ever going to see these people again.
But by the time they leave, some of these kids have scaled the rock wall. Some of them have driven ponies. Some of them have found something, like a rock in their life that they can come back to and hold on to. And Samantha is a testimony to that. And it may not be every little child, but I want them all. I'll claim them all. But I'll take what I can get.
I had this moment where I send this little boy down the zip. And as he's going down, I'm thinking, that's probably the last time I'm ever going to zip this kid. I don't know if I'll ever see him again. Pretty heavy when you think that someday at the judgment seat of Christ, we are going to be judged on whether or not we did these interpersonal things to the least of these my little ones. And Wayne, it doesn't get any least of these my little ones than when you're talking about these damaged children. So Anita wants me to take this mail down and mail it for her, so I got to run and do that. Of course, AMHR, the American Miniature Horse Registry, no surprise there. Let's see, I should probably see if Anita wants to go with me. You going with me? Yeah.
Did you?
Okay. I'm going to run your mail down to the post office, and we got to run up to the farm, check in on how the train is coming along with the horn installation. Also some animatronics down there that Dennis is working on for Pony Gulch. So I see you looking at my office bric-a-brac and antiques and stuff, but do you know why I have this little shoe shine box? Because that was my very first company I started when I was probably 9 years old. And I would go down to the main street in El Mirage, Arizona, and get in front of the restaurants and stuff and sit there and shine shoes for, I forget what it was, maybe a nickel or something. That was my very first company, Tom Horn, the entrepreneur, shoe shine Superboy.
This is another Don Francisco song. It's called Holy Roll. And these are much better when there's someone singing. Since all the kids are in school, I'm by myself today. It's been years, Joe. That's after like 20 years and not ever playing. After a few years, Tom and I were married, and he decided he was called into the ministry. He worked hard at home. He worked nights and did his schooling in the morning with the Berean school and got his license to preach and to be a minister. Our very first pastorate was a small little home missions church. There were 8 people there the day that we went to preach. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these people aren't going to want us to stay because we were kind of young. But you know what? Everybody that was there cheered us on. They unanimously voted us in, and we were very happy and proud to take that pastorate. And we were there for about 2 years, I think, 1.5 years maybe. And then we ended up going to our next adventure.
It's the 700 Club.
If statistics are correct, more than half of the nation's marriages will be devastated by divorce. Still, there are survivors, like Tom and Juanita Horn. Tom's marriage was so completely changed by the Lord that he had a deep desire to work with other families in the area of family and marriage counseling. Presently an associate pastor at Landmark Christian Center in Downey, California, Tom helps young married couples establish their marriage relationships.
He can take a situation where you absolutely have nothing in your heart for each other whatsoever, and if you'll submit to him and at least try in any degree, he can take your marriage and he can turn it around and he can make it the loveliest part of your life that you've ever experienced between two people.
My mom is precious, and so much of the opportunity that we as a family have, so much of what we have, is a result of her being obedient to the Lord, spending time in prayer and having a keen instinct about what He's put on her heart. And she'll reveal this to my father, they will talk together, and he's actually learned over decades to listen when my mom is speaking, because often therein is the next step in the journey, if that makes sense. And I watched my mom growing up repeatedly this fascination with horses, and she would try to manifest some reality where she's got a little home and maybe a fence and she's got a horse, and it would come to pass for just a short season, and she would get herself a horse and they would have a little acre, my mom and dad. But then my father would get called once again back into ministry. We're talking about big tent revivals.
We decided that evangelism was something that we wanted to do because we felt like we wanted to tell everybody about our life with God and how He had changed our lives. And so we would go hold revivals.
It's the blood that gives me strength from day.
For any church that would have us come, and we actually were booked down a year in advance.
We're talking about the 70s and 80s where people would be traveling evangelists, and so she's back on the road again, and they're out, very young people now, they're evangelizing for the Lord.
It's in the hands of men and women just like you and I. And folks, I'm going to tell you something, and you hear me, because this is a prophecy. If America does not wake up and teach its children to read, and teach its children to write, and teach its children to think, but most especially teach its children to pray and to honor God, we will have a dictator in this country in less than 50 years. I prophesy it will come to pass. I'm a student of history, and I see the progress that we're making towards dictatorship here in the United States of America. If you want a great America, be a great person. But if you want a godly America, then be a godly person. And when the doors to God's house is open on Sunday, get in here. Because when you come in here, it is a vote for responsibility and righteousness to rule in America. It says, God is number one in my life. He's not my last hope.
And after about 2 or 3 months into that first year, because Tom, when he would preach, he was a very avid preacher, and his voice would start to give out on him.
Archaeology proves daily that the Word of God is historically accurate. The manifestation of miraculous power proves daily that the Word of God is supernatural. And the fulfillment of prophecy proves daily that its words was divinely originated. God is its author. It is a non-debatable fact. And its lessons and its precepts and its truth must be adhered to by all of mankind.
And so after 3 or 4 different revivals that we would hold. The pastor would have to finish out the week because Tom had no voice. We thought, okay, this is not the one. What it was with his voice giving out, we continued to pray, if this is what we were supposed to be doing, then strengthen his voice. But the further down the road we got, the harder it was for him to stay in that field of evangelism because he just couldn't, his voice would not hold up. Plus, not only that, I had a second child was born, our son Joe, and then I was pregnant with our third one. And I, as a mom, was feeling this very, very domesticated, I need to raise my children. They need a home. They can't be in a travel trailer every week. And we both started to feel like, okay, we need to settle down and really hone in on what we're supposed to do.
And often it meant that we would have to sell a home or that she would have to rehome a horse or move on. And now she's traveling again. And then a couple of years later, she would do what she dreamed of doing for multiple decades, where she would hang her skillet. She was always talking about hanging her skillet, getting herself some horses, and that dream would come full circle again, but only for just a short stint. And once again, called back into ministry, and she would have to surrender that yet again to be faithful and obedient to what God was calling her and my father to do.
So at that time, we took a few months to rest at some friends of ours' house, which we call Grandma and Grandpa Fuller. They allowed us to stay with them for 2 or 3 months while we were able to kind of regain our footing. And they helped us pray as to what direction we should take. And so we decided we would go back to pastoring. And that way we could stay in one place.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we need the grassroots support of our Skywatch TV family to help us get the Rescue Us series out to as many people as we possibly can. This information is being suppressed, deleted, deplatformed, taken down, and is way too sobering for most network television outlets. We need you to get involved. We need you to join us in the efforts to get this series in front of your friends, your pastors, people of influence in government, your communities, anybody and everybody. Help us share this series not only to illuminate the many, many ways that we're losing an entire generation of children to intolerable darkness, but also to assist in the raising of an army of God's people willing to stand in the gap for them. The Rescue Us series shows the viewer what can be done by absolutely anybody willing to say, yes, Lord, I will answer the call. I will intervene for those who have no voice and for those who desperately need help. And that's why right now we're asking you to stand with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to introduce the Rescue Us special offer. For your donation of only $49.99, you'll not only receive a copy of the entire 6-DVD docuseries Rescue Us that uncovers the massive crisis destroying an entire generation of youth, all while challenging each one of us to rise up for our nation's most vulnerable and break the cycle of abuse. But you'll also receive the brand new documentary, Rescued, Samantha's Story, where Samantha Orr personally takes you through her nightmarish childhood of unthinkable trauma and abuse to her total restoration in the arms of Jesus Christ. But friends, that's not all. Right now, while supplies last, we're also including in this special opportunity the 4-hour audio series on disc, The Hidden Occultism of Epstein's Orgy Island by the late Dr. Thomas Horn. Silent Cry, The Darker Side of Trafficking, featuring Yaku Bouillons, Ilanka Deaton, Dr. Thomas Horn, and others. And the major motion picture movie, Camp, on DVD, that showcases what God can do in the life of a child desperate in need of rescuing through ministries like Royal Family Kids, and is inspired by true events. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of $200. Yours now for your donation of only $49.99, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. But ladies and gentlemen, we are so committed to this message reaching as many viewers as is humanly possible that we want to equip you, our grassroots army of Skywatch TV friends and family members, with an opportunity to partner with us like never before. Join us in spreading this invaluable message through the Rescue Us Partner Pack. where you'll receive 5 copies of each of the items we just mentioned for your donation of only $165. That's right, when you order the special Rescue Us Partner Pack, you'll receive 5 copies of the entire 6-DVD docuseries Rescue Us, 5 copies of Rescued, Samantha's story, 5 copies of The Hidden Occultism of Epstein's Orgy Island, 5 copies of Silent Cry, The Darker Side of Trafficking, and 5 copies of the major motion picture movie Camp on DVD. This massive collection of documentaries, audio series, and movies holds a retail value of $1,000. Yours now for your donation of only $165. With 5 complete copies of everything in the collection, that allows you to keep 1 for you and your family and 4 entire sets to share with people that you believe will also be inspired to stand up in defense of God's greatest gift to us, our children. Remember, your donation helps Skywatch TV continue to get this important message to the 4 corners of the world. You can also stream the entire Rescue Us series and or Samantha's story right now at skywatchtvstore.com/stream. So act quickly. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. Visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Rescue Us special offer or the Rescue Us Partner Pack right now.